welcome to the stream. I'm gonna start off by doing the handstands already. I did a warm-up before. Yeah. I think I'm gonna remove the warm-ups from the lab. So I recommend doing your own warm-up, or normally after time you get used to what you want to do and what's helpful and what is not. And then until those weeks we can work together on warm-ups and shoulder preparation. So gonna start right off with a first handstand. I'm actually doing a free one. On no wall in the beginning today. Nice and easy. Push from the shoulders. Tall. Pressed in. Hips slightly tilted forward. Belly button up. Toes pointed. Knees together. Look between your thumbs and your point finger in the middle. Yeah. And don't fall out like me. Sorry. So, gonna whip it up. Talking while doing a handstand is quite hard, to be honest. Don't want to move the microphone around. Also, legs standing in between, so I will always move the mic up and down. This lighting is a little bit better. Yeah, it looks a little bit warmer. Sweet. We'll take a 2 minutes rest and then we're gonna start the next second set here. I wanna do 130. And yeah, we're trying to increase by 15 seconds. 115 would be better now. 150, 130, 135, 2 minutes. Let's do it this way, yeah. 115. Getting ready, seconds. There we go. A little bit of a weird line there, to be honest. But that's already was from the beginning. Maybe try a better line next. Sit there. Don't wanna be in a banana position. That felt a little bit too much banana. A little bit exhausting, or exhausted today. Normally I have better feeling for Friday, but not today. Let's see how we are in a low energy day again. We had some setbacks on one of the trainings where I was really exhausted. Today I say around 80% to 90 instead of the, let's say 85. 85 is pretty good estimate instead of 70. We'll see. We're gonna do 2 or 3 minutes break instead of the 2. We don't need to rush anything today, so I'm feeling a little bit like rushing through the training. Anything I wanna do, it's not enough time. I have to cancel one thing anyways. Yeah, sometimes you have to get your priorities right. And training comes mostly first. Goes by keeping social contacts and spending time with friends. Come on. What an ugly line. I don't feel like I can pull down the breast enough. And I'm a little bit extended in the breast to the front. And counterbalancing that was the shoulder again. And then I'm gonna get way too much into a banana position. Open up the plan so I can track. we had 1 minute, 1 minute 15, and now 1 minute 10. I think we're gonna work on the 1:30 and try that again. Did I reach that? Currently 3 minutes 15, yeah, we still have 1:45 would be right. So we have 3 minutes 15, yeah, plus the 45 is 4 minutes, and 1 more minute, then we would be at 5 minutes. Okay, let's try the 1 minute 45. I'm happy if I do a 1 minute 30, but if I manage to stand longer, I'm gonna attempt to go 1:45. I think if I get to the 1:30, I'm gonna not to do anymore. I'm gonna move up. If I only manage to do 1 minute or 1 minute 15 again, then I will do a wall handstand. See how the next set goes then. We know more. Gonna try to talk while standing, so let's see how that goes. Gonna get ready. Shake out the arms a little bit here. I have to watch out on the left side. I'm already feeling on the outside of the hand again, which shouldn't happen. Should be on the inside the weight. Okay, off we go. Let's try to hold it here. All push from the shoulders. Toes pointed, knees together. Breathe into your back. So you can roll down the breast a little bit more. And keep the belly button slightly tilted forward. Definitely feeling it on the left outside. The pinky. I'm not sure why that keeps happening currently. And now I talk too much. Yeah, around 1 minute while talking is okay. I think the second I hit the 1 minute, getting hard, and then I should stop talking and focus. So standing for 1 minute currently is piece of cake. Well, if I fall out before the minute, it's either I'm not quite happy with the form, or I get distracted in my head and don't concentrate to standing, but should just be able to go into a 1 minute handstand at any given time and shouldn't have that much struggle. Maybe in the end, the last couple of seconds, but when I get. So now I'm gonna try to improve that by getting to 150 easy standing, and then have to push and use my strength to keep on standing longer. Yeah, we're gonna do a 45 seconds on the wall. See, like to experiment around my handstand training a little bit. look what works, what doesn't work. Didn't feel like the last 3 weeks set I did any improvement when we started doing wall in the beginning. Let's try to get back to a little bit more freestanding and then do maybe less wall. But at the same time I want to improve my form, so I have to watch out that I don't do the banana position. I liked that one. I was definitely closer to the wall than I would normally be. I have to write that down too. Next up are struggles. I'm used to do 2 minutes there. I think we'll continue with it. Even though it's a little bit boring. I still need to improve the position. Gonna take a full rest for the start of the first set. And we'll see how it goes. Always check in with yourself, how you're feeling. There's no use if you're too exhausted after your warm-up that you continue the training. You have to decrease the difficulty there. And always be careful that you don't decrease because you want to get lazy, or in the end the training is not challenge anymore. You're decreasing too much. You want to have your challenge, you want to be challenged, you want to try to improve, but you don't want to set a bar that high that you cannot reach yet. Could try to do fingertip holds and one arm holds freestanding, but I mostly will fall out. Fingertip holds work, but still need to improve the form on the fingertip holds before I even can think of going out. I'm gonna switch it up next week too. I'm gonna incorporate fingertip holds into our strength training and basic days. Maybe I remove the close hand ones. Not sure yet. Want to stand longer than 40 seconds there. Oftentimes my head is really in my own way. Yes. I was thinking, okay, do 40 seconds. It's enough. Of course, my body was like, after 40 seconds, cool, we can go out. And already started to go through the motions. Okay, now I can go up. But in that moment, I wanted to stay longer, but my body was like, no, we're going out now. That's what she said in the beginning, so we're gonna stay there. Yeah. For me, it's oftentimes important that I have these numbers in my head and increase the numbers. So I try to reach a number. Otherwise, I'm staying in the same, because we're doing that for straddle holds for quite long now, and only 40 seconds. Should be able to stand longer by now. You should think in like half minutes increases rather than 15 seconds. So I would stand for 55. That's so weird. Why not just 1 minute then? Gonna attempt to do 1 minute. Maybe 50 seconds is a good number, yeah. That was weird. I felt it in my back. Cramping right. Yeah, about here in the lower parts. One day of my hip was like, I rolled my hip a little bit too far back. And tried to open up there in that way. And then in that moment I gotta weight onto the back. Maybe. Maybe I'm just getting old, who knows. Okay, let's try again. Today. Really awkward. So we're again having a hard time keeping my toes pointed. Always have to actively point them. Then I'm trying to go lower. Every time I do that, I lose the point of the toes again. And Instead of going lower with the legs, I'm going lower with the shoulders. Not the way we want to do that. Oh, a little bit stressed out mentally, so definitely feel that I cannot focus enough. Maybe it helps. Myself a smack in the face. But better in the end when I pushed and also can go lower with the legs. A little bit worried about the attack now. Just gonna refill really quick. There we go. Okay. Look, let's see. We had Wednesday we had a good set. Where I could go down even below the 90. But if I remember correctly, the first couple ones were not that good. I had quite some struggles getting into the duck. We spent some time there before we managed to finish the 1 minute. Yeah, that's one way to go. What happened? Let me think about it. Tried to push, and when I got deep, my legs came a little bit apart, so my knees were not completely together. And suddenly I lost a little bit of control there, and then I opened up the legs. Kind of panic move, I think. So they were a little bit open, so I thought, okay, if I can open up them a little bit more, I can save it and go back together, but then I just opened up to a diamond And then, okay, now I can go out anyways. Yeah, definitely feeling weight on the outside of the palm here. And you should feel the weight on the inside or evenly spread, to be honest. Maybe a little bit more weight on these two fingers, because you're on the inside above them, so it should actually be easier to lift up the outside. Especially important when you want to do the one arm, where you definitely have to have the weight right above you wanna, in the standard two hands, you wanna have the weight way more central, or in the middle of your, or not middle, more towards the thumb side. And when you shift to the one arm, you wanna get a little bit more towards the pinky with the weight. Yes, remember we're side bending to the side here. And then, of course, the other hip comes over a little bit and the same hip goes to the side. So to counterbalance that weight shift, you have to have a little bit more weight on the inside. Oh yeah, that was a blast. Oh. It comes with a little friend frustration. Simply try to push too deep with the legs and not be able to open up the shoulders. You have to focus way more on the shoulders than on the legs, because I had so much focus on the legs. Yeah, I almost felt like gonna jump up, like pull up again, and I was focused on keeping them down. Let's try to do better in the next set. Weirdly enough, that I mean, on Wednesday was just the beginning where I was like, okay, it's okay if I don't perform that well. Today is a little bit different, where I think I don't perform actually good. Should be a little bit more rested, which I'm not. Still have more energy left, which I don't. Weird. Days like this come more often than you hope. Like, no idea how to get down there now. legs felt like they want to go either way front or even back, and then the hip was like, oh, what they're trying to do there is not possible. And so they were like, let's do Blanche. Blanche is so much easier. Oh, and let's stay open. Who needs an open shoulder? Maybe we do. I want to be a little bit more careful, because the farts that I spoke out now are quite spiraling, so not happy about that. Guess if my mind gets depressed, or depressed the right word? Depressed is not really the right word. Frustrated. My body will not be able to perform anymore. It's distracting the second I touch the flower behind me. They're like, oh no, nah. I don't even do a, but I'm not even keeping my legs straight. That's what I want to say. I'm bending it a little bit so I don't kick the flower. And then we sinky aside a couple of times where I start off in the handstand like this and then push back into a straight. And roll the hip towards the front. Something is keeping me from getting a nice deep rotation and squeeze there in the hip. Because every time I push out of the shoulders, feels so much weight going away from me. And normally, if you roll down the hip, you should just have better compression there. I'm gonna try one or more. It's not gonna work, it's not gonna work. Maybe do a wall one. Yeah, let's do. If it doesn't work out, I'm gonna do a wall one actually. We're gonna do the same by walking towards the wall and then lowering the legs down until the knees reach the wall and stay there. Not sure if I wanna squeeze in the lower legs or if I want to stay on the wall. The difference would be bending either this way or this way. Did I even pull down my legs there? Yeah, we're gonna do a wall one. Doesn't get talked like. Did I talk 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago about if you cannot something not working for you because you don't feel 100% for the day, and rather than force it, you might wanna decrease the difficulty or the endurance time. But you still want to do the exercise, so we still want to do DAX, and we're gonna do one wall duck now. Didn't do them for probably a year or so I have no idea where my hands should be. Normally what you can do, but to be honest it doesn't work out that well either, where you stand in front of the wall and pull up a knee, and when you're standing in a straight line, that's where your hand should go, where your feet are then, or the other feet. You cannot lift both. That's normally a good estimate for how far away we want to stand, but that only works if you're standing in a straight line, and oftentimes it's a little bit more or less. It's not exactly the completely correct line. Also you have to remember, okay, yeah, you're measuring with the center of your hand, not with the palm. What do you measure with the palm? Oh, I forgot that. I think you want to have the palm on that spot. That's the one thing that's right above your hip. Is it though? I don't know. How dense wall ducks can be. But it goes to show today I'm not gonna reach the freestanding good ones without the planche, because that's to push so much from the shoulders there. It's not relaxing. Gonna make myself a coffee, take the 5-minute break, then we're gonna return to the next exercise. we're back without coffee. It's still getting brewed there, so we have to take another break after a couple of exercises. I think it takes like 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, a little bit blanche, but it was actually nice. That would be nice to have a coffee before we start happening. A little bit winded now. Didn't really take a break in the 5 minutes. That took longer. I moved stuff around and started the coffee a little bit too late. But I think it needs incomplete time, more than 5 minutes. Around more like 10 minutes or so, normally. Like grinding it down, setting up the coffee machine, waiting for it to get finished. Probably more like 6, 7, something like that. Yeah, there we go. Slowly. Black magic is gonna appear. Now I have to think about it. I think, what was it? I also heard it about yesterday about coffee. I think the natural tone of coffee is actually brown, not white. Not black. The reason behind it is, and that I'm not sure of what the reason behind it was. I think the material where you make the coffee in turns it black or something like that. I'm not sure. I would have to look it up. But it's not a complete defined color. Which one is right there? If I'm correct. Maybe I'm just talking History Channel stuff. As you all know, coffee was invented by the aliens. And I'm a huge fan of Devin Townsend. I think if you saw, like here, I have the tattoo on the back, which is the infinity symbol, but from Devin Townsend, a Canadian metal musician. Really, really good, really funny, and he had the what was it called, Siltoid stuff, and that was like two albums where he told the story about an alien that came to Earth to conquer it, and what was it? Could he time travel by using coffee? Or it was something, he needed coffee for something. It was either time travel or was it to get infinite power or something like that. and that's why he conquered Earth. He wanted to get the all the coffee beans. So, coffee talk. You know what? Before I start, I'm gonna check if the coffee's good. Don't know if you say it. Cheers. I don't think coffee. But it's way too hot. I think I'm mixing the time travel stuff up with Futurama. But it was not time travel, right? It was just he drank in one episode. He drank the 100 coffees in a row, or but nothing else. And then he achieved infinite speed, like something like that, right? It was like, I think it was like the Flash or Quicksilver. Not Quick. Wait, is it Quicksilver? Yeah. I think Quicksilver is the one from Marvel, right? I think so. Flash from DC, definitely, and Quicksilver. Silver Surfer, yeah, it's Quicksilver, I think. All things considered, it was not good, but it was working set. Hello. Good. At least one thing got the coffee. I'm gonna smell that when I do my next sunset. Yay! Still a little bit too hot. Reminds me that I have to get better coffee beans. So, welcome to Coffee Stream. What we're talking about is coffee while doing stupid handstands. Mostly coffee. Who needs training? No, I need to get newer beans again. I'm not happy with the current ones I have there. So, just to show how important good coffee can, or how different coffee can taste, and the better you get, the better it tastes, in my opinion. Especially in Vienna, where I love coffee, is like very huge. So how I was able to hold that, I don't know. Coffee power, probably coffee power. What else could it be? So it doesn't taste that well. Still. Good. I had a phase where I was only drinking green tea or matcha tea and felt a little bit better than drinking coffee. And at some point I started to drink coffee again, went out with friends, and it was always like, okay, I'm the green tea guy and everyone else is drinking coffee. And you shouldn't be influenced by stuff like this, but it still feels a little bit awkward. And with green tea I still needed felt it like only 1 or 2 hours in when I suddenly felt like an energy surge coming from inside. And sometimes I have work days where I have to wake up at 4 or 5 and drive for 3 hours, 4 hours and spend the whole day there. So then at that point I started drinking coffee again. Yeah, maybe. I think I'm gonna drink green tea after the training then. Beginning, of course, you feel like, okay, you have no energy and you're constantly tired until after a while you get at least for me it was a different feeling of being awake, a little bit more of a natural feeling. Because coffee can have the side effect when you're actually tired and you want to be awake because of work or whatever. You get in an awake state, but you're still feeling like a little bit, or at least I felt a little bit like I'm not completely rested, I'm not completely awake. So, but I started feeling that was green tea, so maybe we start drinking more green tea again and less coffee. Back down to like maybe 1 coffee and the rest of green tea. A little bit too less of a push. Oh my god, what that wording? I didn't have enough push from the shoulder anymore in the end. And when I got back I couldn't push again out so that I could go back into straight. So more coffee for more energy. No. Today's stream is presented by coffee. What kind of beans do you like? How often do you drink your coffee? Do you grind it yourself? Do you grind it with a machine? Or with what machine do you brew it? How do you keep it clean? Do you even have one, or are you using capsule machines? By the way, I'm using capsule machines too. I only got the espresso machine where you put on your stove and then hooks it up. I think 2 years ago. Since then, I'm doing my own brewing. Brewing? Is it that? No. My own grinding. That's brewing is different. That's completely something else. We're not brewing beer here. And well, I used just a capsule machine, and to be honest, it's not that bad. Depends on but probably depends on what you get. I currently have the Tessimo. I heard Nespresso is pretty good. We had that in workplace, and it's a little bit hard if you don't know what capsule is good, what capsule you like, and you don't remember because you drink it so few. But I think Nespresso is probably really good. Even with the capsule stuff is really good coffee, but it's still different if you grind it yourself and then let it cook just a little bit better. But that might be a little bit like the homemade cooking effect, where you put it in the work and you feel a little bit more satisfied when you get to consume the product you made instead of just buying the completed product and eat it or drink it. Scary in the end. Now I'm like a little bit sliding, but I completely slid it out there. So completely lost track of the floor. I'm still not sure if that's the right way to go, because I only want to do side bending currently. When I want to do a real one arm, I want to slide out the arm. So I think it's different if you do it with intention instead of it's happening unintentionally. Same with coffee brewing, where when you use an automatically grinding machine, it doesn't taste as good when you have your hand grinder. Plus, it takes way longer to grind it by hand than by machine. I think same with cooking. You say, oh yeah, it tastes so much better when I cook. Yeah, it only tastes probably better because you put in some work and it's way more rewarding in your head. And what you definitely know is what's inside. And you can vary a little bit more while cooking if you know, okay, let's put in more salt or more pepper or whatever to get a different taste out of it. But then again, if I go to a real coffee house in Vienna, or a good coffee house, sorry, they're the real coffee houses, I don't like them. I mostly go to good coffee places where you can get vegan milk too, and there it still tastes a little bit better than whatever I'm doing. And the same goes if you go to a really good restaurant, then will definitely be better than what you ever made at home, even if you think you can cook that good. I mean, if you're a gourmet chef, then ignore what I said. Rather get your coffee into your system so you can stay awake. Yeah, I'm gonna write this coffee theme today. Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what happened. Maybe went too far. Second. Like 1 minute break, maybe. I'm just gonna let the stream run. Sorry about that, but I couldn't leave the coffee here. I had to bring it into the kitchen and clean it out. Because it's really important that you have clean coffee mugs for your next coffee tasting. Otherwise you might smell or taste the old coffee and you don't want to have it. You want to have a real smell there of your newly fresh bread. Grinded coffee. Why do I say brew? Does anyone know that? I don't know. That was the legs where I wanted to be. Way too high a little bit. Then the sideband was a little bit interesting there. A little bit better, actually. Normally that was the feeling that I have on the right side, where I just open up the side ribs and squeeze in the other. Do one more right and then go to block box. I think I only started drinking coffee when I was 21 or even later. Didn't really drink coffee for a long time. Even though my family was obsessed with coffee, well, like really obsessed. We even have the big machine where you can make cappuccinos and stuff, and for me it was always like didn't like the taste and I didn't want to drink it because everyone else was drinking it. It was a little bit the same with smoking. Everyone in my family smokes, and I felt like, okay, I don't want to smoke because everyone smokes, and it was a little bit too expensive for me too, so like I felt like, okay, I don't want to waste the money on that. Then again I drink iced tea like every day, and that's probably the same amount of money I wasted there for roughly 3 to 4 months or so. I just went out because I had the feeling of sliding away again if I stayed longer. Gonna do the wall walks here. Gonna do 4 blocks up down. Cannot see that. That's not ideal. Yeah, okay, it's enough view, I guess. Yeah. Find a better place for the box full of weights and bands and blocks and other stuff for training. I like to grab there and get something most of the time, so. Grab the red. Got to press the split. Oh, forgot to press the split before. So. Yeah, when I come back from the break, I didn't press the split button, so okay. Too bad. So now everything that happened in close hand is a little bit more onto the side bending stuff. But it's definitely, yeah, red in close hand, of course, and yellow in side bending. Ooh, we're so fast in side bending. It's 11, we could do 30 seconds on each side, so I didn't take any breaks. That's the goal. I mean, essentially, you wanna have go up, go to the side bend, hold for 30 seconds and left, go back in the middle, go down to the other side, 30 seconds again, so, and then back up and stay there. So let's say in total 1 minute 15, considering like 5 probably going down there, 1 or 2 going sideways, 1, 2 going to the other side, gonna mid, 1, 2 and back up. And it should be around 15 more seconds then. With all the switches. Oh. They fell out there. Yeah. A couple more seconds, then we're gonna attempt. Block walks, we do 2 times, yeah. 1 time down left side first, and then the other way around. We're going down from 4 blocks to the floor, go back up to 4 blocks out, and then do it again the other way around. Other way around, I'm gonna start up, but the first hand that's moving will change. Wrist way out. Yeah. Was I not happy? Back up. I suddenly had the big toe inside instead of outside. And that happens a couple of times. Which I noticed. So. I just realized that I'm always was riding 4 blocks up, down. I'm going down and then up. When I changed the splits, I don't want to call it strength training anymore. When I'm doing just L-sit and like front lever and stuff, so more gymnastics. I think we're gonna focus on L-sit today and do 3 exercises. Do you think the coffee helped quite a lot? Don't know why ducks were not possible today. Started off already weird, where couldn't go down with the legs. I was like, I don't know. My head couldn't comprehend how to squeeze in the legs. But by the power of coffee, suddenly had a opening of the mind. I don't know what that was. Sorry. Just did a random move there. I wanted to stretch out my shoulder like this, and then I just moved it. I was like, okay, let's press against the arm that was not there, and then do 30 more seconds. I think I talked so much today. And I started talking about the coffee. The 2 minutes break were definitely not there. So I still kind of forget how I skipped the warm-up. I did it before the stream, so... I mean, it's only 6 minutes, so... Yeah, let me think. I started off by going right down first, yeah. A little bit too fast, especially in the last one. if possible, you want to really take your time with it and stay in a one arm as long as possible. That's up. Yeah, we're gonna do L-sit, 3 exercises. We're gonna do the on the floor, and then on the wall with the feet against the wall, and the third one will be hips on the on the seat there. I have to look at what I want to use there and get the legs above. So we're working a little bit more on mana. I started training, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, in 3 years I have a mana. Nope. Especially with my lack of mobility. You'll need so much compression there. And be able to hold it. Only a few can actually do that. In the world, like, there are not many people who can do a mana. Even in the world of gymnastics, I don't think everyone can do one. Well, this depends on what you're training, of course. But not something where you say, okay, you just do it. Most of the time gymnastics is about, okay, train a good base and you can do anything. But when it gets really to specific stuff, you have to train for that too. Specific stuff. Power of coffee. For you, by words. Okay, gonna take a 2 minutes break, then we're gonna do the wall one. So I have to prepare the wall a little bit. The important here is what you really want to have is something that doesn't slide away from you, and depending on if you care or not, you might want to put something that can slide below your legs. So you can start lower and slide the legs up on the wall. Don't find my old sliders, so I don't want to use the new ones. You can get some core sliders. They're really helpful. You want to have like something that slides a little bit more if you're feeling like you're stuck. Okay. But if I do that, I'm gonna destroy the bottom of the slider a little bit more. So it's gonna get some cracks into it because the wall is not completely flat, or it has some small ripples in there. Also, you probably want to watch out because you're gonna blacken the wall here. Otherwise, what you can do, what you will see me do, is move the feet by tiptoeing higher. That takes a little bit more strength. Also, you don't want to be too far away with the shoulders, because it should be a shoulder opening. And yeah, I just have to do that more often. The better you get at it, the closer you can go to the wall. But often, so why I'm using the mat here, get something that's perfectly would be a big mat like the one I have in the middle here, that where it doesn't matter where I put my hands on it, I will not be able to slide away. It's a small one, I have to be a little bit careful that I don't slide the whole mat away. If you want to train tricep, that's a really good exercise for that, by the way. Oh, damn it, I feel my tricep. Next setup is you want to put your hips above something. If you have a couch, that's a little bit better. I have one, but I would have to do the setup completely different with it. So perfectly would be something in the length of your arm when you're fully extended to the back. So because a manner is where you're fully extended with the arm and your legs are above your head here. And I would attempt it on the stool. My problem is I don't have enough flexibility to get the legs to my face here. Essentially what you want to learn is you're sitting in an L-sit, then going up to a fall sit that I did on the wall. A little bit too high with the hips. You can do like a manner attempt with straight legs on the wall where you try to get your breast and your hips onto your shoulder level. But normally you do a fall sit, V-sit, sorry, and then you go up with the hip more and more above your head until your hip is parallel to your upper body and your legs are behind your head. So let's try to simulate that. Chair. Chair's a little bit too high for me. I'm not in a 90 degrees anymore, I'm a little bit higher than 90 degrees. And then I'm always falling backwards. I guess we're gonna skip that. gonna do a normal deload here, or cooldown. So as always, squeeze your leg below your squeeze your leg below your hand, yeah, not your hand below your leg. No, squeeze. So put your hand below your leg, pull down the shoulder, and go with the next sideways. Then look into your elbow crease around 15 seconds later. And that should increase the stretch slightly on the neck. Then the other side. Really try to relax here. Yeah, I'm not gonna remove the cooldown from the program because otherwise I don't do it. I'm a little bit lazy with that at that part before. Because I normally don't do any cooldowns. You always should do a cooldown too. So, oh yeah, I moved that. Gonna do our roll out from our shoulders. Get some black roll or anything that rolls. Move forward and go down with the shoulders. Kind of fall down from the block there, from the wall. Gonna do my 2 block setup here for straddle hold. Actually gonna use a band today. I like to use Terra bands for around the hip here with this exercise. So that I can focus a little bit more on the straightness of the back and the legs. And I don't have to focus on that too much. Because essentially you want to do it without any help on the floor. But for me that's really useful tool to keep my lower back straight and keep my knees engaged and work on more going more towards the ground here. Down to 1 block. Should be harder. Try to sit on the edge of the block so you can rotate the hip more easily. Then go down to the floor. Try to maintain the same level on all, no matter how high or low you are with the hip. Okay. That's it for today. Kinda happy, kinda unhappy, something in between. Not the best training. Hopefully find some motivation on Sunday again. Thanks for watching and see you on Sunday.